Welcome, in front of me is a Vernee Apollo Lite, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks that I can do on this device. So we're going to begin with the System UI Tuner, which allows you to remove unnecessary icons from your status bar on the top. So to enable it, I already have it enabled, but to enable it you would want to hold the settings icon. So just start holding it and it will begin spinning. So I'm gonna try to show it. Like you can see that it's spinning there under my finger. And once you let go, for me it will show remove System UI Tuner, so I'm just gonna tap on cancel. But you should see a message that System UI Tuner has been enabled or something along those lines. And from here, when you go into the settings, it's right at the bottom, so you can tap on it. Just tap on understood and quick, or not right here, go back, status bar right here. And in the status bar you have every toggle that you can enable, or well, they're all enabled, but you can disable them. So let's see, this looks like Wi-Fi, so let's just remove Wi-Fi. Do not disturb mode, gone. Now stuff like for instance the whatever this app is, the one that goes into your notifications and you can actually see it, that has its own settings, so it's not going to show up here. It's only the ones that you know you have from the toggles right here, the ones that are part of the phone itself. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, do not disturb modes, hotspots and stuff like that. So you can disable almost all of it and just have a clear status bar if you would like to. And primarily probably know what is enabled or disabled in there, and even when you bring it down you'll also see the toggles right here, so you can clearly see what is turned on or off. So that is the one thing. Now moving on, we're going to go into the mirror vision, which just allows you to customize how the display looks. So we're going to go again into settings, and this is under display right here, mirror vision. So you can tap on it and tap on the three dots right here, and you have picture mode, which is the first one. And by default it's set to standard, so you can change it to, for instance, vivid, and you can see a tiny bit of a difference, for instance in the red. That's where I see the most difference. You can see the red just popping out way more than previously was, and the blue seems to be a little bit nicer. But this is primarily a personal preference. If you like the red and overall the color is popping a little bit more, then you might want to go with vivid. If you don't particularly care or like it, just stay with the standard. And then there's also another option, which is with the dynamic contrast. Go into here. I'm not gonna flip it, but this is the default. Now if you enable it, you can see that it adds contrast, so the image seems, I would explain it, clearer, a little bit more colorful and clear. It's like there was a fog previously. Hopefully it's visible on the video, but you can clearly see the difference when I'm toggling it on and off. So again, it's a personal preference if you prefer it this way or not. I'm gonna stick with this, and that's about it from this part. So now this setting will basically affect all the phone and every part of it. So videos, anything you watch, it just basically changes the color temperatures and contrast of the entire display. Now the next thing I'm gonna go into is the Daydream, and this allows you to set a additional options. So when you're, for instance, charging your device, you can have a clock showing, so that would be a good option for instance, like a night clock in a way when you're charging your device next to your bed, or you can make it into a picture frame. So to get it, I think the settings is somewhere right here. Let's just look for it. Or probably it was also under the display, but I forgot. Let's see, yeah, there it is. So it's under the display, Daydream. And here, once you enable it, you will see a couple different options. So you have the clock, then you have colors, which is just explosion of colors basically, nothing special there. Then you have the picture frame and photo table. And you can, if you choose, for instance, the picture frame or the photo, you'll actually have to add photos or select where you want the photos to be taken from. Now, as you will see, I don't actually have photos to show here, apart from like one screenshot and two ugly photos of screen in the background. So that probably won't be the best way of showcasing this. But let's see. Go back to the daydream. But basically how it works, we can go into here and I can start it right now to show you how the clock would work. So say tap on start now. You can see that it will show you the time with a black background. This is just an example how it works. You can set it up so when to daydream, and you could, for instance, set it to when charging. And that's, in my opinion, the optimal one. So whenever now you plug in your device to charging and you lock it. Let's see if I can actually find a cable. Is this Type-C? Yep. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna grab a Type-C cable so I can show how this would look. Give it a moment. And there it is. So you can see the clock now. And this will basically be on for the entire time when the device is charging. Now, like I said, you can also have picture frame, so you could make it into kind of a picture frame, just set it somewhere and let it charge, and it will show you the pictures that you have chosen. So just a kind of nice, neat thing that you can do. Okay, so that would be the next thing. Now moving on, we're gonna go into something less user helpful, more helpful for the device, I would say. And it's the scheduled power on and off, which will allow you to just set a schedule for your device to power on and off. And I would advise on making it so your device powers off, for instance, once a week, because that's actually advised. And this process will clear your cache data and basically remove all the apps that were open in the background and just overall improve the device perform better. So to do it, again, we're gonna go into the settings where I am, and you can see scheduled power on and off right here. And then you have on and off. So you want to toggle both of them on. And we're gonna start off with the off option. So time, it doesn't really matter what time you set it. Just, I would say, set it to some time where you're not gonna use the phone. So for instance, like a night time would be good enough. So I'm gonna go, let's go 1, for instance. AM, okay, so it's 1:30. Then repeat the day, and I'll just set to a single day, for instance, Saturday, and click on done, and then turn on time at 1, for instance, 35, considering the other one was 1:30, and every day. And again, I'm gonna keep it only on Saturday, and tap on OK, and done. And now once a week the device will turn on and off with a time difference of only like 5 minutes, but that's basically all it needs. It needs to power off and then back on, and that's it. Now you could go a little bit more crazy with it and, for instance, set it to power off every single day at night just to save the battery if you wish to, but I'm just showing it more for clearing cache and stuff like that, to automate that function so the device performs better and not particularly last longer, as in the battery. But you can do that if you wish. And the last thing I will go into is the animation speed. And to get it enabled, you would have to enable the developer options. So if you have them already enabled, or you already know how to, then you can skip a little bit. But you can see that mine are already enabled, but I will actually show you how to do it. So you'd go into About Phone, and from here you want to scroll down to build number, tap on the build number 7 times, and for me you can see that there is a message, no need, you are already a developer. But for you, after 7th tap, it will either enable the developer options or give you the pattern to, if you have some kind of protection on your device like pattern, pin or password, it will pop that up and you'll need to confirm it, and then you'll get the message that you are now a developer. And from here on, go to the main page of settings, into the developer options, where you will find right here, a little bit past halfway on the list, window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. And each one of them corresponds to a different part of the animation. For instance, the first one, window animation scale, is represented by the window right here. And if you change it, for instance, times 10, it will be way longer in animation. So not the best option here, but you can set it to, for instance, half speed, which will increase the animation of basically every animation by twice as much as it was previously. So I would say that half speed is the best option because the other one is just off, and that removes the animation altogether. And in certain cases it might look a little bit wonky considering images, for instance, some aspects like the shadow in the background, and there are just like light differences. And without the animation, sometimes the screen will look like it's flickering because it's changing the from shadow to light instantly, and it just looks sometimes weird. So I advise on keeping it at half speed, where you still have the animations and everything is just greatly increased in speed, but still has the animation. Although if you wish to, you can turn them off altogether, and if you don't care about the minute kind of like glitchy look to it, then go for it. But this would basically finish up the top tweaks that I wanted to show, and if you found them helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.